Today's your trial setting and you show up at 1 o'clock. Really?
I did start late though, but I got lost.
I'm sending you for a drug alcohol test right now, and then I'm rolling your case until tomorrow. You must be back here tomorrow. You understand me?
Yes.
Please take a seat. Mr. Muhammad,
How you doing, sir?
you're charged with failure to comply with, basically FSGI, leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. On March 22nd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, the complaining witness went to the police station to make a report for someone that struck her vehicle and failed to stop and give information. On March 24th, 2025, the officer reviewed body-worn camera where the complaining witness stated that while she was at a soccer game, someone struck her parked vehicle. The complaining witness stated that a witness left a note, and that witness observed the defendant strike the complaining witness's vehicle and leave without stopping and giving information. The witness stated the defendant was the coach of the opposing soccer team. The complaining witness stated that they talked to the defendant, but the defendant has failed to provide their insurance information. The officer met with the witness who viewed the accident and administered a photo array. The officer observed vehicle damage from the defendant and the complaining witness consistent with complaining witness and witnesses' accounts of events. The officer observed text of the complaining witness communicating with the defendant. In those texts, the officer observed the defendant state he is responsible for the crash and he has no problem paying for the expenses out of pocket. The complaining witness obtained a written estimate of cost of repair to her vehicle of $1,975.78.
Mr. Muhammad, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Does he have a license? You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name.
He does, Judge.
I'm also ordering you not to go back to the soccer field. Do you understand? If I find that you pick up a new case, if you go back, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail, no more.
Judge, may I? Is there any way we just do no contact with this person? Because in this club soccer world, there's only like 2 to 3 fields that they play on. My daughter's played Albion, and there's only like 3 parks that they play out. So can we just...
It's to happen again. And
I understand. Can we do a no contact so that he's not around that person? Because he's the head coach of the soccer team. And we're going to get this taken care of pretty quick. I think they agreed that if he pays restitution, they're fine with it.
how is it going to be possible if they're still playing soccer that it's going to...
I think he can avoid them. These parks are big. There's Dice, Zuby Park.
Go
ahead.
First of all, sir, I've never had contact with the woman who claimed these claims. That's one. Second of all, I never left the scene because I had to attend.
I'm not going to argue with...
No, of course, I understand.
We're not arguing the case.
Sir, sorry, yes. I'm just trying to clarify that there's no contact between me and the or whoever's making the complaint at this moment. I've never had contact with her in my life, so there's no reason for any non-contact going forward, as I said.
Before he's allowed to drive, I want proof that he's got liability insurance,
Yes,
and I don't want you to have contact with the complaining witness. If I find that you get into another accident, if you're a danger to my city, I'm going to lock you up. Do you understand, Mr. Muhammad? Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we need to put bond conditions. We need to show proof to pre-trial that he's got insurance, and then we'll allow him to drive.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Hissa. Good morning. So you're charged with failure to stop and give information, which is leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On March 26, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was dispatched to a vehicle accident. The complaining witness stated he was driving when he noticed the defendant was tailgating him in his truck. The complaining witness stated he brake checked the truck. The complaining witness stated he attempted to change lanes to let the defendant through. The complaining witness stated the truck went around him, got on the median, and then collided with the complaining witness's vehicle on the side. The complaining witness stated the defendant pulled ahead of him and turned to leave the scene. The complaining witness stated he followed the defendant and got in front of his truck to prevent him from leaving.
Right from the start, the judge is setting the tone. Being late to court isn't just rude, it signals irresponsibility. First impressions matter a lot in front of a judge. Do you think this defendant realizes how badly this already looks?
The complaining witness and the defendant exited their vehicles. The complaining witness stated the defendant came up to his face and was yelling that the defendant was trying to find a good place to stop. The complaining witness stated the defendant got in his motor vehicle and left without providing his driver's license or insurance. The complaining witness stated he did not want to press charges. The complaining witness estimated damages to be $500. An officer ran the plate provided by the complaining witness. There was a driver's license attached to the plate. The officers ran the attached driver's license and got a return photo, and the complaining witness ID'd the defendant by this driver's license photo that the officer showed him.
Mr. Hissa, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you mind running his license, please? The city has a valid license. You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. If I find that you drive without either, or if you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll give you time. If you have any problems, just come back and talk, and then we can go further. If you need an appointed lawyer or anything, we can always have you fill out an application. So for now, I will have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We will then have you take a seat in the jury box while I get your bond conditions ready. We'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go. All right? Please.
Judge, for what it's worth, my client, assuming the court's okay with it, would like to apply for an driver's license after this, and we'll be working on getting those documents together if the court's inclined.
I don't know about doing a time served. He just had one dismissed, and he's back now, right again with another DWI, and it's a point, and it's above a 15. I mean, really?
Sure.
We're still going to continue to do the same thing over and over and over? No, I know you're saying no, but here you are yet again. You had one dismissed, a year and a half ago. Now you're back on another one. It's above a 0.15.
If you got an occupation, the court could order some level of treatment, Judge.
He has to do treatment as part of it. So what we do is we have him TRAS'd, but if I accept this, I'm sticking him with the fine. I'm not going to let him go without the fine.
Would you impose a fine on the probations?
No.
When we talk,
Talk to him. It's 4,500 as well, too. No, I'm sorry, 6,000. I need you to understand that in life, right, we're not going to continue to hope and pray that something bad doesn't happen. We sometimes have to take proactive measures to ensure. You just had one dismissed. You've now picked up another one. If I were to plead you to time served, another proverbial slap on the wrist, and now we're going to let you go out there and hope that you don't kill someone or maim someone or you don't pick up another one, No, that's like the definition of insanity, in wishing that something, over and over, just with a different result. No, this is proactive because here we can see what the issue is. We don't want you to come back with another DWI or much more kill someone because, look at the news. Every day someone dies from a DWI, and it's just not fair when it's so freaking preventable by one damn button on your phone. How much money have you spent on both DWIs so far where one button and a $40 fee would have gotten you from A to B? You know what I mean?
Sir.
That's now what we have to do to intervene in hopes that you learn from this so it doesn't happen again. So you've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 1 year in jail and this to be probated for 15 months. As part of this, you will do a repeat offender DWI education class, a victim impact panel, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what are the conditions you may need, if you need other conditions. If they assess them, you must fulfill them. No drugs, no alcohol, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you're pulled over, an officer asks you to submit a breath test, you must do it while you're on this probation. Guardian interlock, 25 hours of community service, and a $100 one-time donation to Mothers Against Drug Driving. You have children.
No, but I have a 13-year-old brother that relies on me.
Okay. If he does a parenting class, then I'll consider the community.
This is what probable cause really means. The judge isn't deciding guilt yet, just whether there's enough evidence to move forward. Text messages, witnesses, and damage reports are stacking up fast. Would you fight this case, or try to settle?
Service claim.
Thank you, Judge.
The idea, all we want is that you learn so that you, in 20 years, this has made enough of an impact on you that you think twice. Oh man, shit, that was such a bad experience. I don't want to do that again. It's either jail or it's a crap load of fines and fees. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you ever have a problem while you're on this probation, all you have to do is come back, let us know. We can work through anything. There's nothing too big, nothing too small. But the worst possible thing you can do is drive without a license or insurance, start using, or pick up another DWI.
Sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
The other thing that if you just take off, abscond, it's an instantaneous warrant. If you violate this probation, that's what we do. We issue a warrant. We have a hearing to determine whether you violated it. If you do, you're looking at an entire year. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up the right, you're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty to this offense, this is going on your record now. It'll be there for the rest of your life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. You ever pick up another one. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you now, you get pulled over. An officer, the first thing they do is they look at your record. They're going to see DWI, DWI. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to harass and harangue the hell out of you? Every time you get pulled over. And if they smell anything funky, it's probably not going to go well. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is it true or untrue that you had a .15 or above in this case?
It's true.
True to the enhancement. All right, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow this agreement. I'm going to send you to it. I'm not going to suspend your license now, but I'm going to tell you, can you look up his license, please, to see if it's suspended?
Judge, I'm sorry, I missed his name.
Arredondo.
It is not eligible, Your Honor.
Okay, so you will be signing a non-driving affidavit. If you drove here today, you are not allowed to drive home. Your license is suspended as of this time. If we catch you driving without a license, I'm going to lose it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do not drive. You are required to have a guardian interlock, and every officer, because we send notice to DPS, every officer in the state knows if they pull you over and you don't have an interlock, you're going to jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's for the traffic, right? That's why it's ineligible, right? So
I
traffic.
believe so. I took care of those yesterday. So.
Judge, I believe his license may be showing ineligible due to a traffic ticket. If we can get that sorted, can we come back and?
I'm okay with an occupational as long as he's in compliance, okay? The other thing is this, is he is now taking a subsequent DWI education class. DPS is probably going to suspend your license regardless because of a subsequent DWI education class, if you've already taken it. Did he do a diversion and it got dismissed? As part of the diversion, you have to do a DWI education class. Subsequent ones get your license suspended. So I would check with DPS first. Don't just start driving, when you take care of that ticket, because they're going to probably suspend your license again. And this time it may be like a 2-year suspension. I'm okay with an occupational as long as he's in compliance.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he has an interlock first. Yes. Okay. All right. So we're going to have you meet with Shatori for all your conditions, and then good luck to you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Wade, the supervisor for the. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. You were charged with driving while intoxicated. You were facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine because of the high blow. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand that you're entering into a very important agreement today where this DWI will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. This is serious business, because if you ever get pulled over again and you have some kind of funky smell, whether it's alcohol, whether it's dope, anything, it's probably not going to go well for you, because they're going to look that you have a prior DWI and
Here's a major warning moment. The judge is basically saying, one more mistake and you're going to jail. These bond conditions aren't suggestions, they're survival rules. Could you handle this pressure?
Do you understand?
Yes.
So I would never, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, get into a car because you're begging for trouble. We all make mistakes, but when you continue to make mistakes that you endanger other people's lives, the sentences get longer. You know, the costs go skyrocketing. You understand?
Yes, I do.
So there is a $6,000 surcharge that would tack on because this is a 0.15. I'm going to waive it for you today. But if you come back with another DWI, get ready because it gets a whole lot worse. Not only that, from now on, it's a minimum of 90 days in jail. You pick up another one. Do you understand?
Yes.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine the accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, this will go on your record. You can never take it off. Is this what you want to do?
I understand.
Okay, how do you plead to the offense, man? Guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. Sentence you to 3. Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
It's probably true.
Okay, true enhancement. Okay, I'll send you to 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. I'm going to waive your supervisory fee, but be careful. You come back on another one, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Do you understand? For $50, an Uber, take you wherever you want to go. $50.
That's what I'm doing now.
Good. Good luck to you.
Yeah, and I do have a question. There is something weird with her license. We're unable to get a status of her license.
Yes, absolutely.
I think state did just a few minutes ago too, and they couldn't do anything.
I don't know. Gaskin is the last name. I don't know. You know, that's something you may just have to call DPS to figure out. You have your license number, correct?
Yes.
This is the number, Deputy Brand, that's the number to the driver's license division of DPS. Call them right when the phone line's open at 7 and you'll get through. Don't try at 7:20, 1 o'clock, you'll never get through because they're so busy. But if you call right at 7 o'clock in the morning, you'll be able to speak to someone and they can tell you what the problem is.
Judge, even our orange, it won't populate, it won't return to anything. I'm not sure.
There's something's wrong. I don't know. I mean, we only get access to be able to put a number in and it'll spit out information as to the status of the license, why it is. I don't know. Maybe it's got to be an incorrect number or something. Maybe
It doesn't populate with a number, which is odd. It's just a symbol, and then it says here.
Because in the letter, it was saying something about
The website could be down too.
do something.
Oh, yeah, maybe the website's down. I don't know.
Or something.
I would call them. The best thing to do is just call them straight from them. You know, that's what I would do.
All right, and I do have one more question here. I'm sorry. If we find that her license was previously suspended for 90 days, would you be willing to give her credit for that 90-day suspension?
Yes, but you have to give them the dates and everything.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. Thank you.
This might be the most powerful speech in the whole video. The judge isn't angry, he's terrified of what could happen if this keeps going. One bad decision behind the wheel can destroy lives. Have you ever seen a judge speak this honestly?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, now 21 cases. Just since 2020, possession 1 to 4, unauthorized use, possession 4 to 200, 21, evading arrest, felony theft, felony assault, felony possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, now 24, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, assault, unauthorized absence from correctional facility, PCS, now 25, just in 25, PCS, unauthorized use, and now you have and evading arrest.
A lot of those guys.
Stop. I didn't ask you to say anything. You missed court, and now you're here. If you ever miss court again, and let me tell you something, Mr. Price, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. If I find that you are one iota of danger to it, it's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand me? You're now charged with evading arrest, or you're in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Thank you, Judge. On April 14th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was patrolling the area of 999 Pasadena Boulevard, the Macro Plaza Mall. The mall is closed during the early morning hours when this incident occurred, and no maintenance or cleaning personnel were on scene. 999 Pasadena Boulevard is near 1202 Pasadena Boulevard, which the officer knows from training and experience to be a high drug area. The officer observed the defendant standing near a mechanical box on the side of the main building of 999 Pasadena Boulevard. The defendant looked at the officer, who was in a marked patrol unit, and began walking toward his bicycle, which was laying on the ground nearby. Due to the above circumstances, as well as defendant's suspicious behavior, the officer initiated a subject stop on the defendant due to reasonable suspicion. The officer activated emergency traffic lights and began sounding the siren of a... The defendant continued to ride his bicycle away from the officer, standing up on the seat of his bicycle to accelerate faster. The defendant eventually fell off the bicycle and continued to evade on foot until he fell in the roadway of the 900 block of Pasadena Boulevard. The defendant evaded the officer for approximately 736 feet.
The hell was he doing wrong? Riding a bicycle while white? He's not doing anything. Just presumptive police. No. Mr. Price, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause in your case today. We have enough death, dismemberment, and danger in our town as it is. Don't create any more. Be a good person. It's not hard. Get a job, do something with your life before something, or you end up with a 25-year sentence. It's lickety split. Something happens. Life is too short to end up in a 6x9 with a 25-year sentence. You know what I mean? Really. Please take a seat.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with assault, causing bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand that you're making a lifetime decision today where this assault is going on your record and it will be there for the rest of your life. You can never take it off. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand?
I'm facing 90 days.
If you pick up any more cases,
Oh, yes, sir.
facing a minimum of 90 days in jail.
Yes, sir.
You're giving up the right to is this on doctor? It's on doctor. Giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. You understand?
I do understand that.
This isn't like Target where you don't like it. Oh man, this is hurting. You can return it. No. Once you plead guilty, it stays with you forever. You never change it. If you're not guilty, don't plead guilty. It's just that simple, really. Don't, because you'll always live with regret.
Sir, I was assaulted.
Telling me that it's self-defense.
A child a day?
Yeah.
She's gonna show up.
She will. I'm happy to give you more time to discuss it. Just, it's probably not best here. I live stream, so.
We will for tomorrow, Your Honor.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Morning, Mr. Tolentino.
Morning.
Sir, you're charged with illuminating an aircraft with a laser pointer. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine.
This case takes a surprising turn. After everything we heard, the judge finds no probable cause here. It's a reminder that not every arrest leads to charges. Do you think the system worked correctly in this moment?
The agreement that you have worked out is a 6-month deferred adjudication. This is a very serious agreement that you're entering into now. This is a type of probation that if you complete successfully, you do not end up with a conviction on your record, but you cannot tell people it was dismissed. It doesn't get dismissed. You do a probation, complete it successfully. If you do, and you don't end up with a conviction. Do you understand the difference? You give up nearly every right known to man by entering into this agreement, telling us that you can complete this. And if you don't, you're facing an entire year in jail. Do you understand? You're giving up a lot of rights. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you are stuck with this until you complete it successfully or it gets revoked. If you do something to violate this agreement, like you pick up a new case, you don't do your class on time, you don't do your community service, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest, and we're going to have a hearing to see if you violated. If you do, you're looking an entire year. Do you understand? You still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the illuminating an aircraft with a laser pointer improperly? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm not going to find you guilty. I'm going to withhold it for 6 months. You will do an effective decision-making class, thinking for a change. No drugs, alcohol, 25 hours of community service. Did you graduate from high school? Okay, what are you doing now?
Electrical. I do electrical.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to maintain full-time employment while you're under probation as well. I'll make you a deal. If you do well, you get everything done quick. I'll take you off in half the time. Meaning get your classes done, be nice to everybody. And if you do that, we can take you off in half the time as a reward. But if you mess up, it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
So,
All right, bud. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Judge. Thanks, John. Okay. Mr. Aguilar, you're charged with failure to stop and give information striking a highway fixture. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You're also charged with theft, a Class A misdemeanor where you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Law enforcement officer spoke with the complaining witness who stated that on April 2nd, 2025, he parked his truck in his company's parking lot, locked the truck, and when he returned the next day, his tailgate was missing. An employee of the complaining witness searched Facebook Marketplace and found a tailgate that matched the complaining witness's stolen tailgate and had recently been published. The law enforcement officer executed a sting operation to purchase the tailgate from the defendant, the seller, on Facebook Marketplace. He paid the defendant $140 for the tailgate. The defendant was subsequently arrested. The complaining witness stated the price to replace the tailgate was $1,117.65. The defendant stated he buys the tailgates from a friend for $75 and resells them for typically $300 to $400.
We have him taking the actual tailgate, right?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what it says. Well, it has him as the seller of the tailgate.
Yeah, I didn't take the, Your Honor.
Stop. Don't say anything. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right.
Yes, Your Honor, it has him as the seller and that it was recently published 2 hours ago on Facebook Marketplace. But those are the facts as far as the dim summary goes.
It says here that this defendant did then and there unlawfully appropriate by acquiring or otherwise exercising control over property, namely a tailgate owned by Jonathan Smith. Did he take the actual tailgate?
Your Honor, there are no facts alleged in the DIMS that he knowingly took the actual tailgate. However, the tailgate was in his possession and under his control.
Sure.
He was the seller on Facebook Marketplace.
This is why lawyers always say, stay quiet. Even innocent explanations can be used against you. The judge is literally protecting him from himself here. Would you be able to stay silent under this pressure?
No information in the DIMS, though, that represents that he was the actual individual that stole the tailgate. In fact, when the officers interview him, he says that a friend, he buys the tailgates from a friend and then resells them on Facebook Marketplace.
Are we to assume that he knows that they're stolen? No. He's charged with theft, right? It's a specific intent crime. So if he's selling stolen property, somehow there has to be evidence that he knows that it's stolen. How do we know that he knows it's stolen? We don't operate on hunches.
Your Honor, there is also an allegation, or it's alleged that the defendant told the law enforcement officer that he was aware the tailgate was stolen.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Thank you. It's my apologies.
Mr. Aguilar, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward in the theft case. What about the failure to stop and give information?
Failure to stop and give information.
Let's see. We need to do probable cause on that one as well, please.
Good, Your Honor.
Yep.
Law enforcement officer was following up on this case in the original report. The defendant's vehicle struck a metal gate at an apartment complex. A witness looked out her window and saw the suspect vehicle and photographed the driver and passenger as they exited the vehicle. Law enforcement officers ran the plates and had the vehicle and owner information. The law enforcement officer later observed the defendant's vehicle in front of the residence. The vehicle had significant damage to the hood. The law enforcement officer made contact with the driver, the defendant. The defendant was ID'd to be the vehicle owner. The defendant stated he loaned his vehicle to an acquaintance he only knows through Instagram. The defendant showed the law enforcement officer the man's Instagram named Go Get a Veil. The defendant claimed that this man needed to borrow the car to pick up a girl. The defendant stated he would obtain the man's real name and provide it to the law enforcement officer by the end of the day. The law enforcement officer was not contacted by the defendant again. The law enforcement officer took a still shot on his body-worn camera of the defendant during the conversation. The law enforcement officer later compared the photos and saw the defendant was the same as the photo from the reportee. The law enforcement officer attempted to contact the defendant and could not. The apartment complex's estimated damages are $2,000.
Got it. Mr. Aguilar, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. Can you tell me if he has a license to drive, please? Texas driver license.
John, can you check that on Aguilar?
Don't. I know that you are itching to say stuff. Don't. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they're going to use it against you. So just now's not the time to fight your case. You will have the opportunity to fight it. Just now's not the time. I want you to understand, Mr. Aguilar, I will do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs, including property. And if I find that you're a danger to my city, I'm going to lock you up and I'm going to make your bond so high, you'll have hair falling out.
Yes,
Do
Your
you
Honor.
understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Tell me what time of night was, do we know the theft of the tailgate? Was it in the middle of the night?
So it was reported around 5 p.m. That's the only information we have, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to pick up any new cases, not to have any contact with the complaining witness in the theft case, not to go within 200 feet of where they live or where they work. Do not pick up any new cases. You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name, and that is also a bond condition. If I find that you're driving without car insurance, likewise, you will go to jail. That's it. If I end up revoking your bonds for one thing or the other, they're probably going to end up around 10, maybe 15,000. And if you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. After that, you'll be free to go. Don't be a danger to my city. Do you understand me?
I understand.
Come on. Good morning, Mr. Chimeo.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 27 days in jail with credit for the 9 days that you have done. You need to understand that this charge from now on will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days for any new cases, at least with DWIs that you pick up. You ever get pulled over again, officers will see this DWI. If they roll up to your window and they smell alcohol, or if they smell dope, it's probably not going to go well for you. So I would never get into a car and drive if you've even had a sip of alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes.
You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal, meaning once you plead guilty, this goes on your record and it will be there for the rest of your life. Is this what you want to do?
That's it.
Yes.
Is it true or untrue that you had a .15 or above breath test?
True.
I find it is true. I'm now going to sentence you to the 27 days, give you credit for the 9 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license, and good luck to you, sir. Thanks.
Judge, I was appointed to this case about 8 days ago, Judge, and I don't believe sentence status has changed since then. Can we have the court waive the DPS fee? Thank you, Judge.
Okay. You did the clerk.